Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Monday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I'm Ashley Hobley. Joining me today on the couch, Ciaran Marchant.
Hey Ash, how are you doing? It's nice to be on the show where we've got several stories where there's kind of a bit of light at the end of the kind of dark and rainy tunnel that has been kind of society for the last 12 to 18 months.
Yes, it is. Like some kind of positive news, some like things to get kind of hyped up for. It's just good. Not a too bad week. Plus, the usual terrible conspiracy and fraud, stories.
Look,
but yeah, so it's on today's episode. Yeah, today's episode we're talking about Square Enix upcoming showcase. We're talking about the EAGate scandal hitting FIFA 21. We'll be talking about Xbox buying Bethesda. That's the way it was around.
That is correct.
That is the way it is. Yeah, but first up, we got big news for Australian convention-going fans. Reed Pop has confirmed that PAX Australia is set to return this year, locking in the dates of 8th of October through to the 10th of October at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre. So that lot of other details, but how do you feel about them locking in a date?
I think it's very
in March.
I think it's very optimistically positive. Like, it's a good sign. It's a positive sign. It's showing everybody that they are planning and they are working through getting PAX Australia back into the world this year, or as well for everybody here. I think any of these events, just in general, nowadays are having to plan with the emergency eject plan in the forefront of their mind of what happens if there is a major outbreak or any kind of outbreak in Melbourne or wherever they decide to host it. Did they say Melbourne already again? Yes, they did.
Yes, they said
Melbourne Convention Centre. That's the other thing. That's the nice thing. They've still said Melbourne. There's very kind of, you could have gone possibilities of them deciding to try and host it elsewhere, which I don't think would have gone as well, or maybe smaller venues just for general, considering the smaller capacity sizes.
Or like
yes,
like hold 7 events at the same time.
You know what? They could do something crazier than that. They could have, like, if they really wanted to go that way, but I'm glad. I think everybody needs to try not to go all in and make this your biggest kind of hope or guiding light for the whole year, because there's a very real opportunity that this just doesn't go ahead because of anything COVID related. But it's definitely an exciting time, and it's exciting to see this all the way out in March.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it was fun to see all the people already like booking trips and that kind of stuff online on Twitter and getting super excited. And, I'm sure it's a big help for the Melbourne tourism element as well. All those hotels and shit being booked. So initial sales of tickets will be very limited. So reading from this Kotaku article, on the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition site, says events are currently capped at 25% of the venue's seating capacity, which is 250 people. So I'm assuming a lot of the halls and panels will be very much reduced. But that was later updated to say at maximum it was 75% capacity with a total of 10,000 attendees per day.
10,000? That's still a lot, but at the same time, that's actually kind of, considering that, say, like AFL is having kind of like, I think for like the MCG, the AFL is limited to 50,000 people. Like, it's only at half capacity for like AFL games, which I guess is a bit different because that you're most of the time kind of sat in one place or watching a game. You're not kind of roaming.
You're not moving around, spreading your vibe.
And also, we do, anybody who's been to any kind of convention before knows that personal space and personal distance and social distancing would be really hard in previous kind of settings. Even Michael, listener of the show, recently tagged me in the Country Road freaking video from PAX a couple years ago where I hated my life so much. But even looking back then and seeing kind of how squashed in everybody is into that kind of hall ready to go in, that's really not something that you're going to be able to happen with. So I think people should, if you are wanting to go to PAX this year, be on the ball. Don't like, first, as soon as they open, you need to try and get your tickets. Don't be kind of chilling. I would be very surprised if they're very limited on like all weekend passes. Like, I'd be like super like surprised. I feel like they'd maybe be trying to give everybody a chance to at least go one day instead of always going all three. And also on top of that, at the same time, be prepared to line up a lot more. Lining up is always a thing that is kind of happening, but I think even with lesser crowd numbers, there still will be maybe more waiting time or more lines of things for them socially distancing out and what space they're going to be limited to. So, but no, it's an exciting prospect. We'll see how it unfolds throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a bit of hope. I think it was last weekend's Oz Comic Con pop up. They had a Oz Comic Con pop up show in Sydney over the 2 days. Supernova have already booked in their April dates in Melbourne and Gold Coast. So clearly they think they're good. They'll be able to pull these things off. And of course, Supernova PAX has said if you're unable to attend due to border closures, you'll be refunded your ticket, which is that's a little bit, gives you a little bit of confidence,
Well,
that
it's nice to know that people are learning.
Even if things go wrong,
they're learning from other people's mistakes, and they are kind of proactively moving with their setup and their rules and their restrictions and everything, which is good.
Yeah, really great. All right, so big news coming up this upcoming Friday for us here in Australia. Square Enix is set to hold a digital showcase with game announcement and updates. The big news there, the one that's caught the most attention, I feel like, there is going to be a new information about a new Life is Strange game, as well as information about Outriders, Marvel's Avengers, Balan's Wonderland, Tomb Raider's 25th anniversary, a real anniversary, as well as a bunch of their mobile games, and what their sister studio Taito is doing. Of course, we knew that who's the Life is Strange devs? Don't Nod. They're not doing this one.
Yeah, they've already.
So we would assume it would be the people
Deck
who did
9? Was it Deck 9? No,
Deck 9.
But weren't Deck 9 are owned by Xbox now, or is it Don't Nod that's owned by Xbox now? One of the two is he's got purchased. But yeah, it was Deck 9 who did Before the Storm previously. But Don't Nod doing the main two kind of installments for the Life is Strange series. As a Life is Strange fan, I'm open to this just because of the fact that I think Life is Strange is kind of a IP that is so kind of, other than like its basic fact that it's an adventure game, and it has kind of the overall kind of guidelines of it's going to be a game that talks about social issues that includes some form of supernatural element and how people interact with that and how the world sees that and goes through that. And I think that's a great IP to give to an up-and-coming team or a team that has already kind of displayed some form of interest in those kind of elements. And I think, it isn't the fact that, as we saw with Deck 9 taking over for Beyond the Storm, or Before the Storm even, there is a definite opportunity for people to create these games and make these games, and especially inside this IP, it's going to be great. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah. No, Deck 9 it has been working on a game for Square Enix since 2018.
Yes. Okay. So around. Yeah.
Don't Nod they worked with Xbox on Tell Me Why.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
but they're not purchased by Xbox.
But
yeah, this is kind of cool, third entry. I'm sure there'll be a few people disappointed that Don't Nod isn't doing
of course
the third entry, but I feel like that obviously they decided to tell their tale. I feel, especially after 2, where I feel like it kind of divided the audience.
2 was a very
I think a lot of people
different game for the
wanted
first one.
more.
Yes,
one.
Definitely. And I think as long as whoever's coming in, and I think we've had this discussion previously in terms of like Telltale, like the new Telltale is the kind of people wearing Telltale's skin suit or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, exactly what
you want to call it. The people who have just made a skin suit of Telltale. Oh no. But as long as they pay respect to kind of the staples of Life is Strange, I still want there to be these kind of social discussions. I still want there to be supernatural elements. But most importantly, I want the cool music moments of nice music for each episode and moments where you get to sit and chill out to the music. and that'd be great. Make sure that's in there, Square Enix.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, that's a kind of a staple.
Exactly, it is. But
those games. But yeah. So with that said, I'm assuming I'm going to confirm it now. Beyond the Strange coming back for Life is Strange 3.
I would take a crack at it, and I'll actually play it on time this time so I can be a part of it. As I said last time when I played Life is Strange 2 late, I was like, man, I wish I was playing this on time. Do you think, interesting thing, so we've already had, Tell Me Why had a very kind of close together release schedule. Life is Strange 2 had this kind of weird all over the place schedule where they were months apart and people were having a hard time kind of digesting them. Do you think whoever takes over this and Square Enix will be kind of trying to focus on getting a complete game? And if they do kind of either release it as one full thing or try and release it at a more kind of tightly restricted schedule of a set of weeks?
I think it will be episodic still, and I think it definitely will be. They'll try and keep it on very much a schedule, but I think we've discussed before that on Life is Strange 2 that they made adjustments based on players' feedback to previous episodes, like what characters people liked and that kind of stuff.
But I feel like in with Tell Me Why, Don't Nod then showed their evolution from that point. With kind of Tell Me Why was released.
It was just a complete story that.
Well, no, it was still
pretty much finished.
It was still Tell Me Why was across 3 weeks. Was like you got an episode a week across 3 weeks, which was kind of obviously as a game they probably had it complete as much as they could or have everything finished before then. It's just a case of having that kind of forethought to be able to do such a thing. I'd really hope Square Enix does pay attention to that and whoever the devs are, but we'll see. I just think we are a bit past having episodic games that take several months to release stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they can get away with it being like 2-3 months between episodes, but like if it's like a month or 2 weeks at the least, I think that would be really good. And we've seen the success of some weekly television shows and the internet discussion around those, and that's kind of keep the buzz around it going. I don't think any game has been able to capitalize on that, but that's something that they could possibly aim to do. Of course, none of these IPs are nearly as big as Marvel or Star Wars. So
no, correct.
But a person can dream. Is there anything else amongst those that you're excited to find out more about? I think the Tomb Raider is set to be. I think it was leaked. There's like a 3-pack of the 3. The
current ones, the Rise of Tomb Raider,
ones, trilogy.
Tomb Raider for me, I loved Tomb Raider growing up. I was really a big fan of Tomb Raider. I was really all for the reboots. I played Tomb Raider 1 kind of extensively, and I really enjoyed the reboots of it, the first Tomb Raider. I barely touched Rise, and I barely got in, and I did not even load up Shadow of Tomb Raider. But for me, I think Tomb Raider just needs to either, after this 25th anniversary, go away for a bit, and then kind of come back with another reboot, or with somebody else taking the helm of it and going in a different direction with it again. Or they just need to have, I think, for me personally, I would really like them to start maybe going back to the style of the old narratives where it was a little bit, where there was more of a kind of, I don't want to say a clear narrative tale, but there was just more wacky and zaniness. Even though the current games have that wacky and zaniness going to them, I still think I would love them to be more, because I think the new Tomb Raider movies almost feel like they're trying to be like modern day kind of action movies to the scale of having a jet setting exploring kind of world where it's trying not to be Uncharted, because Uncharted's definitely taken Tomb Raider's spotlight in that terms of things. It's trying to be more about exploration and more action based, if you would want to say that, I guess. But I do think they either need to go all in on the zaniness, or they need to try and come at it from a bit of a different angle, because I feel like it never goes far enough. Like, it never kind of goes, you know what? Go full Fast and Furious for me in Tomb Raider. Like, go full 2 hour aeroplane scene. Like, do that for me. Like, either do that or try and go in a different direction.
Give us some ridiculous action set pieces.
Exactly. Like
Is that
yes, exactly. There was some real weirdness happened throughout the original Tomb Raider series. So I want them to try and go back to that and recreate that kind of same feeling.
See, if in my mind the best action would go more of the tomb raiding section.
Also,
just a puzzle game, no combat.
Yep.
You know, tease combat, but never do it.
The combat was, you know what?
You have a gun, you can fight and stuff. But you never actually do it.
But for me, I think combat in the original Tomb Raider games, the levels had less and less like men shooting at you or people shooting at you. Where I think the new common games, they kind of get to that point in the game where they just kind of fill it with
you just murder
with
everybody.
you're murdering everybody. Whereas I think everybody who ever played it remembers Tomb Raider 1 where you first run into the T-Rex. Like, recreate those kind of moments in Tomb Raider where they're just batshit crazy, or like the first bear you fight in Tomb Raider 1, or the wolves at the start of the game. It's like, I think capture those moments more often than just having it as one Tomb Raider versus 60 uncharacteristic and non-interesting guards. Who will win? And it's just, that gameplay kind of needs to be pulled out of Tomb Raider a little bit.
Cool. Do you expect there to be... Of course, they've announced all these different things they're going to talk about. Do you think there's going to be one more thing?
I think they will.
Do you think there's a surprise?
I don't know if it's a surprise. I would be very surprised if there was nothing Final Fantasy here, especially coming off the back of that State of Play where it was there was a whole bunch of Final Fantasy in that State of Play with the PlayStation 5 version coming out, and then the kind of the interim DLC. Do we call it DLC? Do we call it the added extra content with the extra story? I can't remember what the name of it was.
Oh, the Final Fantasy 7
yes,
stuff?
Yeah, the Final Fantasy.
Retrograde.
Yes, yeah. Like, I'm surprised if none of that shows up here, because I think that should, if after it was appeared in State of Play. But on top of that, I think they show, what was that? Very early, maybe one of the PlayStation 5 showcases. They had the kind of the tech almost tech demo for a Square Enix game that we didn't know what the F it was, but it'd be interesting if they built on that a little bit more in this. But at the same time, is it the right place for that? Do they just need to be going back to the well for Square Enix things and doubling down on those kind of things? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Do they show us any of the crazy stuff that we've seen recently? Project Gathia.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 16.
Man, Final Fantasy 16 would pop off. That'd be pretty cool. Or
that would blow. What was that weird Nintendo game?
Octopath Traveler.
No, it wasn't called that. If there's try something, Triangle Strategy something. I can't remember.
I have no idea. It was that weird of a name.
It's not important. Yeah, Project Triangle something.
Yep. No, it's like that. But I don't know. I think if it's something that isn't listed here, I feel like needs to be something that will, to steal a wrestling term, to make the Square Enix fans pop. To send people home with hey, you know about all this stuff going in, but let's have the cherry on top. Let's just something that'll pop at the end. To send people home with.
Final Fantasy 14 now on PS next consoles.
That could be a thing. That game is incredibly successful, actually, even though it's not maybe talked about as much. I think the amount of expansions they've done for that game is actually kind of insane.
I mean, it'd probably be third or fourth biggest MMO still.
Yes,
probably.
Very much. I would say it's second behind World of Warcraft. I think it's behind World of Warcraft.
Really?
I don't think you
put it behind Elder Scrolls.
I think it's neck and neck with Elder Scrolls, but I think I'd put it slightly ahead. I think it has a lot more of the kind of the Pacific market that Elder Scrolls just probably doesn't have. No,
see, we're way
off, are we?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, no.
From PC Gamer.
That's PC.
Oh, no, that's best MMOs.
That's MMOs in general. I would say current concurrent players. And that's across, like, Final Fantasy has done so well to make it go across from, like, the place. Like, you know what? It's an MMO that actually plays really well on console. Like, it actually plays really well on PlayStation. Yeah. I think, in terms of concurrent MMOs that are fully supported and have ongoing content. Maybe you'd have Destiny in there, but Destiny's kind of a weird one. But I think for me, yeah, after World of Warcraft, just in general, because that just kind of monopolized the top spot, I think Final Fantasy and Elder Scrolls were kind of the...
Okay, so I've got one updated. So number 1 is World of Warcraft with plus 7 million new players. Mm-hmm. Unsurprising. 2 is Elder Scrolls Online with plus 3 million players.
Oh, okay. Alright, fair enough. I'm surprised by that.
3 is Black Desert Online with plus 2 million players.
Yeah. Black Desert is the weird.
Number 4 is Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2, really?
1.5. Number 5, Old School RuneScape.
You're
1 million
fucking
players.
me. You're actually fucking me with this list, Hobley. What is this?
Number 6, Final Fantasy 14.
People are still playing Guild Wars 2? That's fucking insane. Black Desert's like definitely the one where it's like, oh, that makes sense because it's a very big kind of Southeast Asia, kind of game. So it's just one of those games where it's like PlayerUnknown Battleground is still massive in your careers and like your kind of those specification locations. It's it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but there you go. That's our MMO segment for this forever. Probably we'll never discuss it again. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some Final Fantasy thing, but wouldn't be surprised if there's nothing. If they tell us if that's exactly what it is, they set us up.
That's also
and
good.
They give us exactly what they said.
No, that's also
which has been the way things have gone the last couple of these events. It's like nothing super shocking or massive, But yeah, look forward to us talking about that on next week's Arcade Couch. So EA has been embroiled in a odd scandal this week. I'm going to read this article from Eurogamer written by Wesley Yin-Poole. FIFA is currently embroiled in one of the biggest scandals to ever hit the game after an EA employee was alleged to have sold coveted Ultimate Team cards for thousands of pounds. Unconfirmed direct messages appear to show a company employee selling icon cards in packages priced 750 to 1,000 euros. In one WhatsApp message, 3 Prime icon moments cards are offered for 1,700 euros. Icon cards are among the most sought after in FIFA Ultimate Team. They include legendary players like Brazilian Ronaldo, Pelé, Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane, and Ruud Gullit, and near impossible to obtain through the mode's controversial loot boxes. Even rarer are the Prime Icon moments, special versions of icon cards that mark one game or tournament that was special for the player. Players have been known to spend thousands of dollars on packs in a bid to obtain these super rare icon cards. EA has been criticized for not revealing the exact probability when the chance to obtain a card of a certain quality is below 1%, as is the case with these icon cards. FIFA Ultimate Team has always had a black market for buying and selling foot coins, or FIFA Ultimate Team coins, which can be used to buy icons from the in-game auction house when they are available, but this is the first time we've seen an allegation that players have been able to buy cards directly with cash. Crazy story.
Fucking insane.
Smart, I guess, if they had a good run. Well, they could get away with it.
They had a good run. The crazy thing is they're doing this from within EA system. Like it's from yes, EA.
They work for EA.
They work for EA, and they have.
It would surely be an employee.
It's an employee, so it has to be an employee. But the fact that they have a way to do this within their system is fucking insane. That they can just without being caught, they can guarantee somebody. And it says it in the messages. Where it's like, oh, we do this every Monday. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you can just go through and guarantee people packs and stuff. That's insane. Like, I'd understand that maybe EA has that tool to kind of. Maybe they gift all players something at some point where they guarantee everybody gets a certain.
Or they're like a promotional thing, like a streamer or something is going to open a bunch and be like, yeah, let's make sure that he gets at least one.
Yes, which this then actually then leads to more conversations about that kind of thing. Is EA using this software or whatever system they use to do this? Is this also used then to promote their game with people who are streaming to large audiences that should, that will get them? Because even at some points, I've even sat and had like a FIFA pack opening on Twitch going on where I'm like, sure, it's interesting. There's a whole bunch of questions that kind of opened up by this. Not only for just EA, you need to stop that shit from happening, but I think EA is either I don't know if there's a way people like kind of another governing body can look into this more with EA to find out exactly how this happened to then lead to are there other things that EA are doing a bit kind of under the table messily to use it. This very much could be tinfoil hat shit, but they are very possible and probable outcomes if they have now that we have proof that they have the ability to do this within the EA system.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked. Like, my question, is it illegal? I don't know.
Well, it would be like...
It's unethical.
It's very unethical.
And shitty.
It'd be...
But is it illegal?
It'd be like, if you knew the card dealer at a blackjack table and you've organized with them to kind of give you like a perfect, like kind of either an easy blackjack at some point. Like, that's unethical as fuck.
Yes.
Like, that is... It's the same thing as, like...
it's like if you got in a rare, I don't know, pair of shoes and you only decided to sell it to one certain person that you knew instead of putting it out for somebody else to buy.
For me, it comes under the same kind of banner as athletes betting on themselves in a game and then throwing the game. Or betting, like, on the other team and then throwing a game. Like, it's very kind of... Yeah, they have the control and the complete access to do this, so it's a very, I think it leads to a lot of questions for EA in the future, and maybe and hopefully a lot of changes for the loot system, and this adds to kind of, how many countries at the moment, I think definitely kind of Australia has in the past, going through these investigations around loot boxes and around these kind of gambling mechanics in video games currently.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially if it's like top tier. Like, what if it's like, I don't know, if Ultimate Team's like a EA Esports thing? I wouldn't imagine it would be.
No.
Like, too
no. But there is definitely a competitive scene to Ultimate Team. Like, there's not officially an esport.
But there's no, like, money.
I think there's
like advertising
technically,
or prize money.
No, but technically you get like kind of the games version of cash rewards and stuff like that from playing it, which could in theory be equal to real money if you kind of work out the prices to it.
Which if you go to this black market and sell your coins for real money.
Yeah, exactly.
My other question, how'd they get to that price point? Do you know?
Probably
like trial.
It's got to be trial and error. Been like, okay,
up.
how much can we sell this for? How much can we sell this for? Like, what are these people?
Start at 2,000 euros. How much are people willing to buy this digital card that'll only be valid for 12 months?
God, it's the scamiest system in the world that it's only available for 12 months. But
no, you can still play the game.
No,
after,
but like, as in like the fact that there's a new installment where you have to restart with all new cards.
I think some carry over.
No,
actually,
I don't
if you
believe
like set up
I
your
don't
account
believe
properly.
so.
I can't remember.
No, because I've heard like FIFA streamers bitch about this constantly. That
maybe you can just keep your team name and stuff.
Yes, that kind of thing
just
definitely
keeps the
does
track
carry
of
over.
Yeah, but not the actual cards.
Yeah. I think it opens up all those questions for EA and for their system in general, and it'll be interesting to see the impact that this has going forward.
Yeah, but a part of me is like, good on you, EA employee, for figuring out a way to scam money. It's like, really well organized criminals. Or that
you got to give it to.
Or that person who was running the McDonald's scam for so many years.
Good on you for working out how to debate the system. Bad luck you got caught, but good
job. So Ciaran, do you know what Roblox are?
I do, actually.
Did you know before this
No,
week?
I did know before this week, just because I've seen YouTubers jump into Roblox, and Roblox is a very weird system.
Yes, so Roblox has been in the news a lot, and I knew barely anything about Roblox, other than obviously a lot of people stream Roblox, and it is big with kids. So I checked out this article by Polygon titled, "Why is everyone talking about Roblox?" It opens up with the fun statistic: over half of US kids under age 16 have played Roblox in 2020. Which is a lot of children. A lot of children. So what is Roblox? Roblox is an online platform and storefront where users go to play games. Roblox is not a game, it is a place where people play games made by other developers. In this sense, it was more similar to PC platform Steam than it is any children's game. what makes Roblox different from anything else in the games industry, including a storefront like Steam, is that all the games are made by its users. On Roblox, the fun doesn't come from playing games, it also comes from making games. These games are not formally developed by Roblox Corporation, but users of the platform. Currently, the official website boasts that its users have published over 20 million games on the platform. So, it is just a PC version of Dreams, is what I'm getting from this.
It's like Minecraft and like but Minecraft, but like you could completely code your own game within it. Where it's like I've seen people play like completely coded Dragon Ball Z games within it, where you're a Saiyan and you're leveling up and you're gaining powers. But at the same time, there's this like underlying microtransaction system within Roblox that kind of underpins the entire game. That is kind of disgusting.
Okay, so of course this is a free-to-play game that you can get into. So why is everybody talking about it this week? Because anyone, including kids, can make a ton of money on the platform. Some developers can earn as much as $1 million in a single year by monetizing their games. Although Roblox and all its games are freely available, many kids buy and spend a virtual currency called Robux on aesthetic items in Roblox games. Roblox developers get to keep a portion of the transaction in the form of Robux. Once a developer makes enough money in Robux, they can use a program called the Developer Exchange to convert Robux to real money. Fuck yeah. It's what words? It's not just individual creators who are cashing in. So this week, Roblox Corporation itself is worth a surprising amount of money. Roblox went public on Wednesday, meaning that it was opened up for shares. Its stock had a great first day, starting off with a $45 reference price and closing at $69.50 a share. The company ended up with a market value of roughly $45 billion per report from the Wall Street Journal. To give you an idea of how huge that is, Epic Games maker of ever popular Fortnite and Unreal Engine was valued at $17.3 billion in late 2020.
It's like
I think it is 3 times the cost that Xbox paid for Bethesda.
I saw a tweet the last couple of days about it where they were like, so Wall Street believes that Roblox is more important and more valuable than Bethesda and ZeniMax as a whole. It's like, holy shit. That's crazy.
Yes. So this is crazy, right? Is this just another case of the Redditors, running their GameStop scams?
I don't think so. I think there is. Well, the thing is, I guess for generally kind of AAA public or kind of big multiplayer games have this idea of stuff like what you spend money on generally has to be kind of aesthetics or just kind of skins and stuff like that. They try and stay away from like pay to win elements where lots of people talk down about pay to win. There is like no rules about that on Roblox where you can legit just pay to win in Roblox. Like somebody can just literally create their game and be like, you can pay this much money to max out the level of your character in this game. And they're not kind of like it's very realistic for people to make money. And seems like it's not a very well regulated platform in that terms of how people can make money off it. And it is got a lot of potential for people. It looks janky. It looks janky as all fuck, this game. It never looks good. It's not like it's on, Minecraft even to this day. It looks better and better with each update. It's kind of a low performance, easy to install game. It is very kid friendly in terms of how to play it and how to use it. I think this kind of Roblox for me I don't like at all because even more than Fortnite already does, I feel like Roblox kind of pushes that boundary even further to prey on kids to ask their parents for money to be able to do things in the game, which I don't agree with. I think that's wrong. It's very similar to how McDonald's is no longer allowed to kind of sell Happy Meals based on the toys. It has to just try and it has to kind of just focus on just selling the Happy Meals because
the food.
Yeah, you have to focus on the food because you're not supposed to be selling to kids and selling to children. That's unethical. But that's a whole nother discussion. I think Wall Street has seen potential in this and jumped onto it, and I think Roblox has done a good job as a company of kind of capitalizing on that and pushing that forward.
Yeah, but with that said, I mean, maybe are their days numbered?
Oh, I would say that number's going to crash hard.
Do you suspect that it's going to be, you fully expect them to be cracked down on for
no, definitely.
Their loot box and monetary
especially
systems and
now that
it's
got this kind of more public eye on it through this kind of going public. I think there's definitely more. I think the people who started at $45 are very smart. Anybody who kind of got in a bit later with their shares, probably not going to get much of a return out of it. I don't see it getting that much higher.
Yeah, but crazy story to think this kind of unknown game to most people on the internet is worth so much money.
Yep.
Bonkers. So we had a brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game released announced this week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a brand new old school beat 'em up being developed by Dotemu and Tribute Games, who've previously worked on things like Scott Pilgrim and Scott Pilgrim video game and Streets of Rage 4. So this definitely feels like a throwback to the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games of my youth. The ones you could either pick up on your Super Nintendo or you could play at the arcade. Cool 4-player side-scrolling beat 'em up, fighting Shredder in the foot and, all that. Definitely in the style of those old school games and in the style of the original animated series. What did you think of this trailer when it dropped?
I'm excited. I think I am decades younger than you, but when I when I was a kid, I remember seeing arcades or seeing arcade machines, and there was always a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade machine, and I always wanted to play, and I always wanted to be Leonardo. But I think this continues to grow in that. Streets of Rage 4 was so kind of widely and openly and well received. With its release on Gamepass, I think this game looks fantastic. I love the art style. I love kind of that retro throwback nature of it. And I think it's going to come out well.
Yeah, it definitely looks, like the retro games that we love. And, they've obviously a couple studios that have a good pedigree in this realm. I mean, Streets of Rage was like the surprise critical darling of last year. It did way better than people were expecting it to, and be better than people were expecting to. So yeah, I'm definitely keen for this. So you're a Leonardo fan?
I'm very much. I was always Leonardo. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's either Raph or Raph. I mean, Raph is the one I loved in my childhood, but Donatello, it's smart.
That's obviously where you get your...
I think I appreciate him more as I get older.
You get your Arcade Couch Rebellious streak from is being a Raphael fan when you're a kid. I see how it is.
Yeah, got to be the outsider, wear a trench coat, a hat.
The original edgelord Raphael.
I tell you what, watching this, seeing everybody going crazy about this, it made me want to go back and watch the...
It did.
The
even
movies.
The animation art style on this trailer is fucking awesome and insane. But just the moment it hits with the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of theme, even if it's kind of retinkered and re-engineered a little bit, I think it definitely, for a lot of people, kind of brings back great, warm, nostalgic feelings that I think everybody would appreciate right now in the world. So, I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
It's kind of weird that it's this kind of out of nowhere to a certain degree, especially when they've got the current animated series that looks very different to the art style they're using in this. So, yeah, definitely keen for this one. No dates announced, but it will be coming to consoles and Steam. All right. A couple of interesting esports reports from gamesindustry.biz. Let's start with this one. A new report from Juniper Research Projects that esports and game streaming worldwide revenues will rise by 70% over the next 4 years. The research firm is projecting those segments of the industry to bring in $2.1 billion this year, growing to $3.5 billion in 2025. While a new Newzoo anticipates global esports market will grow to $1.08 billion in 2021, with sponsorship and media rights expected to account for 77% of esports revenue in the coming year. Does that seem realistic to you?
I think
as our esports,
I think it does.
Expert.
I think it does, especially with the kind of the way esports is going currently. We didn't really talk about it on Arcade Couch, but the way what COVID had actually done for the esports world is insane. Throughout much of ESPN's time, a lot of regular sports, when it wasn't going on, was replaced with esports in one way or another, and more people have been introduced to esports and various different esports. But then also, developers have begun to strive to find ways to kind of increase the access of their esports. I don't think I've ever mentioned this yet. There's kind of, even though Overwatch itself has been stagnant in many ways in its content, Overwatch League is kind of pioneering in a way of really interesting development. They actually, for the next upcoming season and for their finals, because they are split up in different regions, they're actually finding a way to level out the latency issues between regions. So they have technology that will kind of match the latency for both.
That will make everybody shit.
Make everybody shit. No.
Make it feel like everyone has shit internet.
Oh, well, no, it just kind of equals it out a little bit, where if they can find out like the best ping somebody can get out of, say, China and Korea is 90 ms, they will kind of then make the American side of it kind of come up to be 90 ms for the American players as well. So there is some kind of competitive integrity to the game, and no advantages, because esports has always kind of had this weird advantage system where you would play kind of a game on somebody else's server and then you play a game on your server, and then it was a bit of a coin flip depending on where you got if you went all the way through the series. I think esports has a lot of potential to it. I think esports is going through its kind of adolescence in a very ugly way, with a lot of people going through and kind of the understanding of esports players being full athletes and what that entails in terms of a social outlook, with several kind of players in the recent months being kind of brought out for different allegations.
Even this week,
Sinatra, who was the former kind of best in the world for Overwatch League and massive Valorant player, is just being brought out on sexual assault allegations, which is it's a very interesting time for esports. Not interesting because of those kinds of things, but
not because of that, but the stuff you talked about prior.
There's definitely a growing pains section going on in esports right now that definitely could see these markets and these increases in the next 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, those are crazy numbers, but I don't think it's impossible, especially we've seen how much League of Legends and Overwatch and all the other major big esports games seem to be growing, and the league seem to be growing every year. Obviously, there's been a bit of a hit because of, in like attendance because of COVID, but I'm sure the viewership numbers have skyrocketed because for a large period of time there was no competition, and that kind of thing. So so now is the time, if you're a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, to get into esports, because you're about to hit your prime years. When you can actually make money. Yeah,
start young, kids.
Or they're 12. Yeah, so if you got kids, start them.
Fuck putting them into athletics and stuff like that.
Don't take them out to Saturday sport.
No physical attributes to them, that they can't kick a ball, they can't run.
But,
just sit them down in front of a computer, be like, cool, this is your new thing. This is how you get into college. This is how you get into university. Now.
I don't. You still need hand-eye coordination and that kind of stuff.
You do, but you can't. Just because you can't kick a ball doesn't mean you don't have hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, but you might not be super precise.
No, your brain. I
don't know if those skills translate.
Your brain might not be good at coordinating your entire body, but it might be good at using it to coordinate for a video game.
I don't know. Yeah, but get them in there. Sundays, esports don't get washed out like other sports do. Yeah. So you're guaranteed to get a game every weekend. But big numbers. Hopefully that comes true for the sake of esports in the future. So I finally got around to playing Yakuza Like a Dragon after it was released on PlayStation 5. I think I'm about 10, 12 hours in, up to chapter 5 of the game so far, but I feel like I've played enough that I can give general impressions of the game so far. Of course, this is the 8th entry in the Yakuza series, but very much a departure from the main games, in which in the previous ones, I think it's the guy's name's Kazuma Kiryu, plays, and you play very much a beat 'em up sort of style of game. This one is much more of a turn-based strategy game, or turn-based RPG, with the clear inspiration being Dragon Quest, a game that is mentioned several times because the main character is a massive fan of Dragon Quest. So you play as Ichiban, a Yakuza who goes to jail for 18 years, comes out, and his patron betrays him and shoots him. Terrible. I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It is very Japanese. There is some weird as shit side quest stuff. One in which you come across this dad who's trying to get some baby formula home. Someone's trying to steal the baby formula from him, and you stop the guy trying to steal the baby formula. You're helping this dad. His dad's feeling all bad about, he feels like he's having such a hard time because he's working all the time. And his wife's not nice to him anymore after the baby's been born. And then they hear a baby crying and they're like, you know what will make us feel better? If we get that baby some baby formula. So I have to go get some hot water because apparently that's the thing. Couldn't get hot water. So I get the hot water from some coffee shop somewhere. Come back. Go up to this house. Expecting a little baby that's crying these several hours that I've been running around Tokyo not doing the side quest. Come back. It's not a baby. It's one of those it's a playroom set up for adult men who like to dress up as babies.
Oh no. Okay.
Yep. And then I have to fight them because they got upset that we barged in. It's a great game. There's all these wacky stuff. You probably saw on the internet the crawfish that you can summon.
Yes, I have. I've actually, you know what?
That is.
I've actually seen a decent amount of this game just because of various Twitch streamers playing it. But the thing that blows my mind is that most of the time they aren't actually playing the proper game. There is this business mini game inside of it that people just unlocked that people are just dumping hours into. That doesn't even have anything to do with the proper game. It is just building a business and menu management and just it's insane.
Yeah, I just unlocked that. I'd dumped an hour into the first block of that mission line. And it's a simple thing. It's you're trying to make this business earn money. You just upgrade your employees. You upgrade the the business itself, the equipment and that kind of stuff, and then you just pretend to run it for a day. You simulate a day's worth of business. You earn the money. You have shareholder
meetings that are just as wacky in Japanese as you would expect.
Just as wacky as just super Japanese as you would expect. There's all these wacky side quests. There's a mini mode where you got to drive around and steal a bunch of collect a bunch of cans on a bike. There's a mode where you go into a cinema and you have to not fall asleep and to not bite. And the way to not fall asleep is to get rid of these weird people with sheep masks that pop up in the background of the. It's crazy, man. But it's a lot of fun. It is super Japanese. It's very cutscene heavy. So it's a lot of sitting around watching the story unfold. Even the combat, you can set it to autoplay.
Yes. Yeah.
So it just
the combat
knocks the people
is turn-based, correct? It's not.
Yeah, it's super turn-based. Yeah, it's drop-down menus. Very much your turn-based RPG type of game. But yeah, I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the characters. It's super weird and bizarre at times, but I love that. But yeah, I'm really glad I waited till I got on PS5 because I suspect the load screens would have kind of killed the experience on PS4. But yeah, now's the time to jump into Yakuza Like a Dragon. Out on PS5, buy it on PS4, get a free upgrade. It's $69. Yeah, really good time. Actually, it makes me want to go back and play the original Yakuza, the Kiwambe or whatever ones they've
resisting
done.
the feeling of FOMO on an Arcade Couch episode. Going, we just...
So this week we got confirmation after the European Union and the US government cleared the purchase of Bethesda or ZeniMax Media by Xbox. So it has confirmed that the eight development studios, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Works, Alpha Dog, and Roadhouse Studios will be joining the Xbox family. Obviously, I can't... When did we talk about this last?
Like, it was a good, like...
When did this news break? 6 months ago?
6 months almost. Like, I think it would maybe be October-ish. October, November seems right.
Yeah, that does seem right. Yeah, I mean, you know, sorry, Bethesda, that you've got purchased by Xbox.
Good job, Bethesda.
I mean, you know, it's obviously a big move for Microsoft to like put their eggs in this basket. Like, go. This is where this is going to help us.
Look, this is going to make
compete.
Gamepass even more successful. I think Gamepass is now having all these extra-added games. I started playing Skyrim randomly yesterday because I was like, even though I've bought it like 5
Sure, why not?
I bought it 5 times. I was like, man, I'm going to play some Skyrim. I haven't played in a very long time. Still great. You know what's even more impressive? Playing it on like an SSD where load times are like instant between going into locations. It's like this is the future.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably. I'm surprised they haven't done PS5, Xbox Series.
Wait and see.
X versions already.
Wait and see what happens with this Xbox stuff, I guess. But I think it's a very. I think the interesting thing about buying Bethesda and buying ZeniMax is they have such a robust and wide array of games. It's not all just exactly the same. Like it is a very decent catalog. The 20 games that they dropped onto Gamepass pretty much immediately fantastically show that. Like I think
we'll get into that.
Yeah. I think it's a really great pickup, and I think it continues to show dividends with every kind of passing day that it's on there.
So I guess to a certain degree, Phil Spencer clarified about the whole, you know, exclusivity thing going forward. Quote saying, with the addition of Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC and Game Pass were the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. What exactly does that mean? Is it leaving a lot of room? Is it going to be everything except the ones that are about to come out on PlayStation? Or is he leaving the door open for... Is he just giving us PlayStation players hope that we'll get the next Elder Scrolls? Or is he just trying to cover his ass? Why did he word it that way?
I feel like he's trying to, you know, the same time he's Papa Phil, where he's like, man, I've been the good guy of the games.
I've been nice. I want everybody to play all the games.
I want everybody to play all the games, but at the same time,
but now
he's like got this like kind of, he's like secretly Gollum with Bethesda. He's like, my precious, like he's very kind of, he doesn't want to admit that he wants to keep him for himself and be selfish, but
it's like one of those people who like you should give all your money to charity and all that, and then they suddenly win $1 million.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What am I supposed to do? Because
Yeah.
I want to keep all this money. Hoarding this money is really fun. But yeah, obviously we've got Deathloop and Ghostwire coming to PS5. I almost said PS4. Sometime soonish for Deathloop and sometime later this year for Ghostwire Tokyo. But do you think past that we'll see anything on PS5?
I think there's a chance. The door is open. The other forbidden door is open.
Are you feeling more confident now than you were when we talked about it on our Arcade Couch special episode? Breaking news episode.
The thing is, I can very easily see worlds where either option happens. Like, I can very easily see a world where Xbox actually are the nice guys and are like, yeah, you can have it. You can just have games from us. Maybe there turns to be some kind of timed exclusivity-ness to them, or there is some kind of delay with it. Much like Yakuza Like the Dragon, and how that was rolled out. I think that it would be a very open and honest and very realistic thing to happen. But at the same time, I could see a world where Microsoft goes, you know what? Nah, we're keeping it. Sorry.
Double birds.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's obviously going to be an interesting development over the next couple of years. We do know a couple of games that they're working on, but for the most part, a lot of those studios, we don't know what they're going to be making for Xbox. Obviously with Arcane and what's the other one?
id.
Who's doing Ghostwire?
Is it id? No.
No, Tango
That's
Games
one.
Work. Their games are about to release on the PlayStation 5, so their next game will be whatever releases after that. Of course, we do know that Bethesda's Game Studios is currently working on Starfield, which you would expect would be their next game. And then working on Elder Scrolls 6, which will be out in
20 years.
2030, 2040,
like that. It'll be a while.
like that.
It'll be a while. But
so that's still like another 5, 6 studios that we don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true. What's his face? Machine Games is currently working on the Indiana Jones game, which you would expect that would be exclusive to Xbox.
Yes, I would think so.
I would be unless they're going with your plan of like releasing it much later.
Yeah.
But that's a biggish tentpole franchise that Xbox can kind of
Yes, I think going forward, there's
around.
Like a lot. Xbox have the opportunity to do whatever they want with Bethesda and with this kind of ZeniMax pickup. I think it definitely bolsters them. It fills in a lot of spots. It also creates some weird stuff with like the only people I feel very sorry for are the guys behind the Out of Worlds that are doing, I cannot remember, Obsidian. I feel kind of bad for Obsidian because especially after Obsidian release, was it last year they released that trailer for that like Elder Scrolls lookalike game
Avowed.
where you're like, where I was like, oh no, it's like, oh god, now you've brought on the other team that
the actual
like, it's
I mean, Xbox went from no RPGs to all the RPGs.
all of them.
So.
If there's a Western RPG, Microsoft wants it.
Yeah.
But people can hope for stuff like,
name.
Everybody was continually and still probably hyped about giving Obsidian a Fallout game to make and letting Obsidian make Fallout New Vegas again. But
New Vegas too, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So even though I don't know if the deal is technically gone through, 20 Bethesda games dropped on Xbox Game Pass. So I figured I'd run through them and you tell me if you're going to play them or not. Yeah.
Well, not if I'm going to, but if I would. Because, there's no chance I'm going to play all of them.
What? What's the point of having Game Pass if you're not going to play everything on it?
Have you watched everything on Netflix?
That's beside all right. Dishonored Definitive Edition.
Yes, because it's a fantastic game and deserves to be played again.
Yeah, Dishonored 2.
Yes, I've still only got halfway through that game and I need to go back to it. So on next gen consoles would be pretty cool.
Cool. Doom from 1993.
Probably not.
Doom 2.
Probably not.
Doom 3.
Nope.
Doom 64.
Probably not.
Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Elder Scrolls Morrowind.
No.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yes, definitely. Oblivion has a special place in my heart.
I mean, Skyrim.
Yes, which I already am. Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online.
No.
The Evil Within.
Possibly. It always looked good and it's always interesting. I guess if I have free now, it's definitely a lot easier to play. So yeah.
Fallout 4.
Yes.
Fallout 76.
No. No, thank you.
Fallout New Vegas.
Fuck yes.
Prey from Arcane Studios.
Yes, Prey's fantastic, so yes.
Rage 2.
You see, I was interested going into it before it came out, and then it came out and did kind of terribly. Yes, I will jump into it still now that it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. And then Wolfenstein the New Order.
Yes.
Wolfenstein the Old Blood.
Yes.
And Wolfenstein Youngblood.
No. Definitely not.
Okay.
I'm a bit sad that
so
Wolfenstein...
12 out of 20.
I'm not...
That's a pretty good hit rate.
Exactly, especially when the large chunk of those are Doom games. The other thing is, I guess, I'm sad that the original, like, not the original, but like the first Doom that it did and Wolfenstein 2 aren't in that list are the only things that make me sad. Because I would love to binge through like just Wolfenstein 1 and 2 in just together would be really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a few other games. Like obviously Elder Scrolls 1 and 2? I assume those are still things that could be playable.
No, I don't think.
Or whether
No,
they're just not console.
no, they're not console
available.
because the first Elder Scrolls game on console was Morrowind on the.
It could come
Xbox.
to Game Pass for PC.
It could do, but I would doubt it. I would doubt they would go back that far.
I don't know. Why they've got this Doom from 1993. Why wouldn't they go back that far?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Probably because it's easier to do those. Because those.
What's the point of acquiring this for $7.5
the thing
billion?
is, those all of those
use every piece of it.
The thing is, all of those Doom games were already ported to Xbox back in like the 360 days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I guess that's everything about this. We'll see how Bethesda does under Microsoft. We'll see how long it lasts. Before
It'll. What do you mean? We'll
this was a
see
mistake.
how long it lasts. What the fuck?
Before Todd Howard's like, I don't like this.
Fuck you,
Like-
hell.
All right. Let us know what you thought of this episode, what you thought of everything we talked about, and what you think of Bethesda's future at Xbox. By letting us know on Twitter by going to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, or you can jump into our Discord by heading over to explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You can let me know how wrong I am over there. If you liked the episode, you thought it was worth it all, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/support and buy us a coffee. Why not? If you liked it, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, write nice things on the internet. That always helps shows like this get bigger and better. Thanks, Ciaran, for being here, and I guess I'll see you next time. No, I'll see you next week. Same time, same couch.
Hey Ashley, were we missing something?
Yeah, I missed something. Hang on, we'll talk about.
No,
it.
we don't have
Edit it
to.
back in.
No. We can don't. That one that was a Dylan joke, but no, we don't have to do that. One.
Okay.
It's fine. No, don't worry. It's we skipped over it. I was like, yeah, it's fine.
You really don't want to talk about how Halo should be a battle royale?
That's such a stupid fucking tweet. But no, I'm good.